there's a lot of great things that can come from some running. I think what we're seeing right now is just some blowback. Like there's been a lot of cool sports and there's been a lot of cool things for people to do. Bodybuilding was kind of the main thing in terms of like, I guess like what people knew, and Arnold and Joe Weider and that whole movement. And it brought us a lot of the stuff that we see in the gym. And it brought us a very particular culture that stood around for a really long time. You had like Muscle Beach back in the day, and the kind of invention of exercises and, bench pressing back before there was like an actual bench press like device that had a place for the barbell. They used to just hand it to each other and they would be on a utility bench. And the utility bench they could do rows off of and they can bench press off of and stuff. But then there became more and more specific equipment that was like, hey, this is for this. This is where you squat. This is kind of where you deadlift. This is where you do this. And all these things got made up, and people started to associate them with specific results. Oh, a stiff leg deadlift works your lower back, works your glutes, works your hamstrings, all these different movements. And then, you started to see there was some functional stuff that happened maybe like about 2 decades ago, but it got buried. It like came around for a little while and then it like left. T-Nation was really popular. There was a guy named Ian King. There was also a handful of other people. I'm losing some people's names at the moment, but there was Pavel with the kettlebells, and there was a lot of movement through some of those things, but it didn't like stick. It was like niche. It didn't really stick. Then there was kind of like the West Side stuff, which rose up pretty strongly. And Louis, is a really powerful character, so he was able to make some of the powerlifting stuff rise to the top. And powerlifting took shape and took form, and all the way to the point where you see it pretty regularly. All the way to the point where CrossFit had me and Jesse Burdick teaching powerlifting to CrossFitters around the country. It's a certification course for CrossFit, for the CrossFit affiliates and stuff like that. So you saw all that stuff come around. Some people decided to dive all in on CrossFit. Some people decided to dive all in on powerlifting. And there were some people that dove all in on bodybuilding, but bodybuilding is so fucking hard. How many bodybuilding shows are you going to do before you recognize how fucking hard it really is? And even if you toy around with bodybuilding, you'll probably recognize it's so hard you won't even try. Like you won't even you won't even ever compete. So somebody asks you what you do, you're like, I'm a bodybuilder, but you're not really a bodybuilder because you've never stepped on stage. You're not really participating in the full aspect of the sport. You're just
sport of bodybuilding. Yeah.
You're playing around with some bodybuilding in the gym, which is just a different thing, right? And then some of those powerlifters, some of those CrossFitters started getting banged up, started getting hurt. And I think a lot of people started to maybe think, maybe there's some other shit I should be doing. Like maybe I should have some other concerns other than how much weight I can clean and what my Murph time is and what my squat is and what my bench is. Like maybe I should see if I can work on other things so that in my pursuit for working on other things, I could become fit, but I could also feel good during the day. Feel good and look good. And so I think a lot of people, like in the effort that they had maybe coming off of sports when they're young, they got caught in the same trap of like making it too competitive and making it too difficult and a little too hard.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, on this podcast, we talk all about recovery, which is why 8 Sleep are the beds that we sleep on. Now, 8 Sleep is the Tesla of beds. Not only does it track your heart rate, your HRV, your tosses and turns, it also tracks how long you've been in each sleep cycle, and the mattress does something amazing. It changes its temperature through the night to make sure that in each sleep cycle, you're getting the optimum sleep for you. Now, I know you guys are interested in checking them out, so head to 8sleep.com/powerproject, and you'll automatically be able to save $150 off of your Pod Pro cover or your Pod Pro cover and mattress combo. Check them out. Enjoy the video.
My wife was a competitive swimmer for a long time, and every once in a while I'll encourage her, like, hey, maybe you should think about because I just want her to I want her to be happy and I want her to be excited,
Yeah.
So every once in a while I'm like, maybe you should compete. Maybe see if your friends. She's like, She's like, it's over. Like, she's like, I don't do that, you know? So they'll find like challenges to do instead, because she knows, and her and I will talk about it. Like, yeah, same thing with me. Like, if I can't just go do like a deadlift meet. Like, it just doesn't work that way. I can't just go and bench like randomly. Like, I could, but it's going to put me back into the same trap. I'm going to get obsessed with the numbers. I'm going to feel good for a little bit. I'm going to lift good for a little bit, but then I'm going to feel fucked up all over again. So I think that's kind of what we saw. We saw a lot of people not necessarily getting injured, but just like not feeling great. Like, people are in tons of fucking pain, and they're like, maybe if I can have a little bit more balance to where I can play some sports on the weekend and I can go in and lift some weights here and there, maybe I would just feel better and be able to do a lot of stuff easier without pain.
Hey, baby. I'm joking. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord, all right? I know you enjoyed the video. Speak to y'all soon.